So, when I study math, or when I study history, math and history are part of God's greater picture of order of life, a demonstration of His creation. It demonstrates the principles of His creation, therefore it leads us to a knowledge of the Prince. And this is the whole point of education being immersed in and in the context of the big picture of who God is. Because if we come to the knowledge of the principles that are displayed in creation, then we come to the knowledge of the Prince, who is actually the author of creation. And this is the goal of Adventist education. This is the goal of true education, because we're not here just to inform people, to give them information. But the true education is supposed to transform people back into the image and likeness of God. And that is impossible unless that student encounters God for themselves. And so these avenues or lines of study that we would say are all given in the context of God, in the context of the bigger picture. And the goal is to lead them to Christ, to see Christ, to see a revelation of God in Christ, to see a revelation of God in His Word, to see a revelation of Christ in nature, to see a revelation of Christ in themselves, which is the final glory-to-glory goal of Adventist education. And so, rather than teaching humanistic principles of informing people about compartmentalized reality, we're challenging the restoration and the recreation of the whole being, and explaining to each individual within the process how the different parts of you function together in the dynamics of those parts, so that you display God's glory in everything you do, everything you say, every avenue and walk of life that you take up. So life, after someone goes through Adventist education and encounters God, no matter what vocation they take, they have a mission to share the glory of God with the rest of the world, no matter what they do and where they go. And this is the purpose of Adventist education. This is the overall theme. This is the paradigm shift that Adventist education needs to come back to. We need to throw away the worldly standard. There is only one standard, and that God is that standard. There is no worldly standard. There is no state standards. There is no NAD standards. There's only one standard. And when we come into conformity to that standard, then we will be transformed into His image and His likeness. That is the revelation of the gospel. That's the essence of the gospel.